We're joined by another guest on the show today. An interesting guest, not someone who is running for office, not someone who has been elected already. We're joined by Susan Walsh, who was laid off by somebody who is running for office, and we don't get that very often. Susan, welcome to the Young Turks.
Well, thank you very much.
I think I may have ruined the surprise and the tease before the break, but tell me, what candidate laid you off?
Well, that would be Miss Carly Fiorina.
Dun, 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 dun. Did she go walk down to the office and hand you the pink slip herself?
Oh, of course not. No, she can't leave the Emerald City.
Exactly. So you worked for Hewlett-Packard, and just for a frame of reference, Carly Fiorina is the former CEO of Hewlett-Packard, and she was the chairman of the company, and she's now running for Senate in California against longtime Democratic senator now for 18 years, Barbara Boxer. Carly Fiorina has made great hay, I should say, is being made over the fact that she had a worker reduction program. Tell us a little bit about that, Susan, and how that affected your life.
Well, I would have to say that I think she misled a lot of HP employees, and by that I mean she talked about how we needed to be competitive, but with the global economy and so forth. But come to find out, we would be fighting for our jobs, where they went to Bangalore and China and so forth. And that was kind of a shocker. There's a lot of mistrust with her leadership. And you got to think about it. Hey, it's been since 2005. They fired her, and nobody's picked her up to lead their company. So what's left? Our tax dollars.
Yeah, what's left? When nobody will hire you, you might as well just run for office as a Republican.
Yeah, really.
Now, and in fairness, now, I don't even know if it's in fairness, but let's give her side of the story a little bit of shrift here. What is, what happened at HP? Was there anything that was, was HP in a lot of trouble? Was there anything that was warranting layoffs at that time? Because a lot of America went through the belt tightening at that time. A lot of big companies did. Now, I'm not excusing the exportation of jobs, nor am I glorifying at all the fact that she is claiming this as an accomplishment, because it ruined and made a lot of people's lives, and we'll get into that with you, a little different than they were the day before it happened. But did anything good happen to the company itself when this started?
Yeah, absolutely. Good as far as well, the good thing that happened is when they asked her to leave, and then the stock prices soared, and everybody, apparently some of my ex-employees applauded when they made that announcement.
Right.
That she was on her way.
And so when they asked her to leave the board and the company, the stock price of HP went way up.
Yes.
That's interesting.
That is absolutely true. That is absolutely true. And, going back to, I think it was 1974, Bill and Dave, they had what they called the HP way, and a lot of companies now, they model that program. It's like integrity, leadership, team building, and so forth. And, back when they were in a bump with layoffs and so forth, they went ahead and, put people on a 4-day work week so we could save, help the company and save jobs. I mean, that was their leadership under, Bill and Dave.
And you're talking about, when you say Bill and Dave, that's Bill.
Dumped 30,000 jobs overseas.
And that,
by a yacht.
Susan, but when you say Bill and Dave, you're talking about Bill Hewlett and Dave Packard?
Correct. I'm sorry. Yes.
No, that's okay. I just never worked in the office with them. So they started HP. Carly Fiorina, when did she take over? I mean, was there anything? Tell me something good that the Fiorina administration accomplished at HP while you were there.
Well, the only thing I can say stands out in my mind is she redesigned all the logos. That was one thing, and I know another thing too that she was quick to take down the founders' pictures and put her own picture on the wall.
Right.
So I mean, as far as good, I think she had a big in the beginning, as her being a woman, speaking from a woman's standpoint, I was excited, thinking, oh, wonderful, this is great.
Right.
And then, come to find out, what we got for our money,
Yeah.
less to be desired.
Now, it's a pretty nice logo, though.
Oh, yeah, it costs a lot more. Think about changing that around the globe, how much that costs.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. So, Susan, what did you do? We're talking with Susan Walsh, a former employee of the Hewlett-Packard Corporation, who's really joining us to talk about what has become a campaign issue in the Senate race here in California. Carly Fiorina, the former CEO of Hewlett-Packard, who was unceremoniously let go, forcing apparently the stock price to go way up, something I just learned and haven't verified, but I'm trusting Susan Walsh on this. And the price went up, but she's running in large part based on the fact that she wants to put jobs back as a number 1 issue for California, and meanwhile she apparently did more to take jobs out of California. Are you in California, Susan?
Yes, I am in California.
Did her part with her worker reduction program. Was that how it was officially coined? It was a worker reduction program?
It's actually a workforce reduction program.
Workforce reduction program.
Yeah, marketed.
But in fact, she didn't really reduce the number of people working. She just reduced the people where they were stationed and the countries in which they were working, and I would imagine the wages that they were earning. Is that right?
Absolutely, absolutely. A lot of the jobs went, slowly projects were going more and more overseas, and the engineers here were, their hands were tied because the Indian division, the India division was working on the projects and so forth. So it was kind of like there was this kind of awkward stage before she had done the 6,000 workforce reduction program, where it was heading that way.
Right. Now, Susan Walsh, what did you do for Hewlett-Packard?
I was an executive administrative assistant for one of our marketing divisions.
Right. And did that whole division get wiped out, or was it just a portion of the employees in that division? Actually,
I believe it was, I think, not the whole division, but it definitely got squeezed, and I would say maybe about 4 other people as well.
And tell me this, you're on our show now. It is the election season, and it's something that's probably been burning you up as you see all these commercials on television touting how good Carly Fiorina might be for California. What is it that is propelling you to be active here? I mean, and is there any contagiousness to that? I mean, have people followed suit, or is there a group of HP employees who are out there sort of telling the truth about what happened to them? And I want to hear a little bit about where you are now and what Carly Fiorina and her I would guess cavalier decision to start this workforce reduction program did to your life personally. But I want to know what as they're campaigning now and as you're part of that, or in your own way, what is going on with former HP employees, or are you just the lone wolf out there now?
Wow, that's a big question. Well, I'm going to start with what's I got a fire in my belly with this one, because I see, California is in such dire need with jobs, and when I see her on television tout, she knows how to create jobs, I in my head automatically think, yeah, but they're not in California and they're not in America, they're overseas.
Right.
I'll give her that credit. But as far as creating jobs, I just have to, speak out, because I'm one of 30,000.
Yeah.
And, I don't want us to get lost in the big picture of the media blitz.
It's interesting that you say that, and we'll get to some of the other things I asked in just a moment. Again, we're with Susan Walsh, a former HP employee, a former employee of Carly Fiorina. The idea that a candidate can go on television and say that they create jobs, that they're good at creating jobs, when in fact they designed a workforce reduction program, seems to be about as hypocritical as you can get. Yet you're right; she created jobs overseas, and your experience is not unique, clearly, because you're saying that there were 30,000 people that were laid off from Hewlett-Packard.
Yes, at the time, yes. I was part of the first, I think, 6,000.
And then it got to be 30,000, I'm guessing, all over America, right? Is that?
All over, yeah, yes.
You know, why is there not then? Why is there not just you? Why is it just you who's out there telling the story right now? Or are there people in different stations in the country saying, talking about what Carly Fiorina did? I mean, I would be outraged. I know it's a personal story for you, but the hypocrisy for me is what outrages me. The idea that she could be touting her job creation when in fact she did nothing of the sort. She did exactly the opposite. I mean, there's some people that will go out there and say, I create jobs. They've never created a job before. They may not, but they seem earnest about wanting to do it. She is uniquely positioned as someone who did exactly the opposite. And why that's not being told is pretty interesting.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to get the message out for this, because it is ridiculous how I hear this, and it just, like I said, it puts a fire in my belly, because that is the last person that you would want, especially muddling with our taxpayers' dollars. I mean, I would not be surprised, and it sounds crazy, but if she were to get elected in that position, if we're not calling ourselves Bangalore to get our car registrations done because she found a cheaper way to do it.
Right. Well, unfortunately, the senator, the junior senator from California, doesn't have very much to do with car registration. So that's one thing about which you can rest a little easier, Susan. But I know what you're saying. I mean, the hypocrisy is frustrating, especially when you've lived through it. So tell me just quickly now, because we've got to wind this up, a little bit about what it did to you in the immediate, and have you landed on your feet?
Okay. No, I am not on my feet at this time, in a sense that I am unemployed at this time, and we did move out of the Bay Area. However, maybe moving back because there's more jobs there than there are in the Central Valley, which is where I'm currently at now, on unemployment, and had to go on food stamps, and that's never happened before. This is a struggle. And I don't want to see anybody else have to be, impacted. I mean, I've got a great skill set, and there's just so many people competing for jobs. As you know, the economy in California, it's tough. And when I see, like I said, Carly talk about jobs, she can create jobs. Tell me what you're going to do specifically. Anybody can say these things, and like I said, actions speak louder than words. Her actions, and anybody out there that's second guessing it, go find the facts out for yourself, and make up your mind based on that, because they're there.
Well, we thank you, Susan Walsh, for joining us. Your story is compelling, and it is certainly appropriate at a time when you hear Carly Fiorina out there talking about creating jobs for California, when in fact, as we've said over and over, but cannot say enough, she did quite the opposite when she had a chance as the CEO of Hewlett-Packard. But she left us with a very nice logo, and she left us with an interesting conversation with Susan Walsh. Susan, thanks for being on the show. And, listen, I would go out there if I were you, and I would tell your story to as many people, especially in the Central Valley, as you can. And good luck with your move to San Francisco. It'll be easy to get 49ers tickets because they're 0-5. So, yeah, there you go. Yeah. But, that's one good thing about moving to San Francisco.